It's nice to see everyone and be here. We'll start, we'll let people continue to sign on. It's just 6 o'clock, but we'll start with a familiar song. I'll play it on the computer, and then we'll sing together later on, but with the Bina's Nigun, and just again allow people to join in. Oh, there's gonna be an ad first. Apologies. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so nice to be together this Shabbat. We're trying new technology for the night, so Zoom, which both makes it really nice because we're able to see each other and everyone who's on it. So I want to encourage you to show your faces, to put your camera on if you can, and show your faces. It's again really nice to be together, and it's new technology, so there may be challenges with tech. And I want to thank Jeremy, our greeter, Jeremy Wolf, our greeter for tonight, who's managing the waiting room. But it's really nice to be here, and again, it's nice to see so many faces. I know I'm really grateful for Shabbat tonight. It's been a really busy week, and it's so nice to have Shabbat to look forward to and to recharge. So we'll start by lighting Shabbat candles. I'm going to share my screen, and I'll go in behind me and light them. And I want to encourage you, if you have Shabbat candles at home, to light them and watch the light of the candle near you, next to you. If not, hopefully you'll be able to see them behind me. Great. So I think you should be able to hear. And just so everyone knows, everyone's muted right now. We will later on try to unmute people, both to share names for the Misha Berach and hopefully have a brief discussion later in the service. But for now, we'll stay muted, and we're going to light the Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitchanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and really looking forward to being together this Shabbat. And I encourage you to use the chat function and message each other Shabbat Shalom and let people know. Again, we can see a lot of people. We see the little boxes, less so when I share the screen, but let people know you're here, and feel free to utilize the chat function. So we're going to start by singing Shalom Aleichem, welcoming the angels into our homes, welcoming the angels for Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yeah, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay. Bochem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ayay, Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ayay, Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We'll turn now to our next psalm. I think there's no, so I don't play an instrument, and I'm solo tonight, so there's no instrument. So I want to encourage, again, it's unfortunately we can't sing simultaneously all together on Zoom, but I really want to encourage you to belt the songs as loud as you can, so your neighbors can hear, so all those in your homes can hear, and really to sing along with me. And this next song, Adonai Oz La'amo Yiten, Adonai grants us strength, and may Adonai bless our people with peace. I often think about this, especially during recent times, during this time of pandemic. I've turned to this psalm to really think about what does it mean to find that God grants us strength? What does it mean to find our inner strength, both as an individual, but also as a community, and thinking about using that inner strength to allow us shalom, to allow us peace, to allow us wholeness. What we need to help us get through challenging times. And there's this week is Parshat Pinchas. The Torah portion is Pinchas, and we'll get to a different part of the Torah portion later. But Pinchas is known as a zealot. He is very unhappy because the Israelites are sleeping with the Midianites, and he gets really angry, and he sees two people sleeping together in front of everyone, and he goes and he kills them. And it seems like God is in favor of this and grants Pinchas what we call a brit shalom, a covenant of peace. And there's this interesting, and it's incredibly troubling, but one of the things to note, and I wish I had a picture of this, I might be able to find one quickly. One of the things to note is in the Torah, when we read the brit shalom, the word shalom is made up of 4 Hebrew letters, the shin, lamed, vav, which is also a letter in God's name, Adonai, and then mem. And the vav is actually broken. So God, in the Torah, the way that the word is written in the Torah itself, the vav is usually just like a straight line. You can see it. Here's a vav right here on our screen. And in the Torah, it's the word, in the word shalom, it's broken apart. So while God grants Pinchas this brit shalom, or creates this covenant of really, I think, what Pinchas needs, not to be a zealot, it's broken. Pinchas is actually not whole because what he does is so troubling in terms of killing people. And I think for me, this psalm really speaks to actually finding our strength so that we can be whole and not necessarily acting on our first impulse. So we'll sing together, Adonai Os. Le'amo yiten Adonai yevarech et amo. Adonai Os. Le'amo yiten Adonai yevarech et amo. Va shalom. Va shalom. Adonai Os. Le'amo yiten Adonai yevarech et amo. Adonai Os. Le'amo yiten Adonai yevarech et amo. Shalom. We'll turn to our next psalm. This is one we haven't done in a while, Psalm 121. And in the Jewish calendar right now, we just entered a period of mourning that begins on the 17th day of the month of Tammuz, which is known as a minor fast day. And it takes us until, it's 3 weeks long, and it takes us until the holiday of Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, which is also a fast day. And it's known as a period of mourning, known as a solemn time in the Jewish calendar. And so this song, Esa Einai, is a psalm that's often sung during times of reflection, during times of mourning. And I would actually say the 17th of Tammuz, this fast, actually starts our period of reflecting, I would say, before the high holy days. So we go right in from now. This period of mourning, we observe the 9th of Av, again, another sort of what the Jews, known as the day of mourning in the Jewish calendar, the main day of mourning. It's a fast similar to Yom Kippur, but Yom Kippur is known to be a joyous day, whereas Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, is not. And then we move after that into the month of Elul, this month of preparing ourselves for the high holy days. So it seems like they're far away, but we actually are even starting to. And I was thinking about it because we often we're in, again, the pandemic is its own challenging time and its own time where a lot of us are mourning several losses, whether it's the loss of loved ones, whether it's the loss of things that we've been anticipating doing, whether it's the loss of a job. We're all in a period of loss right now. And I think it's important to think about where we can turn to ask for help. And this talks about that. And I think to nature, it says, I lift up my eyes to the mountain and ask, where does my help come from? And I've been thinking about that, not necessarily in relation to mountains, but in relation to nature, and thinking about the trees and the role of the trees. As you know, I've spent a lot of time outside during these last few months, taking walks, getting to know all the trees of Cambridge very well. And the trees at the beginning of this, back in February, March, the trees were dormant. They had no leaves, and now they're full. First they were budding, they had flowers, and now they're just full of leaves. And in a few months, again, we will see them, you know, turn colors, turn these vibrant colors, and lose their leaves again. But then we know they're gonna rebirth. We're gonna have a rebirth. And I think about sort of the cycle of trees as something that gives me hope during this time. So we'll sing, and again, I really encourage you to sing at home. Ezri meim Adonai ose shamayim va'aretz. Ezri meim Adonai ose shamayim va'aretz. Esaenai el heharim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Esaenai el heharim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai ose shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai ose shamayim va'aretz. We'll move now to the Chadodi, where we welcome Shabbat. We welcome the Shabbat Kala, the bride of Shabbat, into our homes. And it's our custom at Simple Sinai just to do the first, second, fifth, and ninth verse. Excuse me. And it's our custom. We're welcoming Shabbat. We're not waiting for Shabbat sort of to come to us, but we're getting ready. It's been a long week. We are ready for Shabbat. We are ready for a little break. And we're ready. And on the ninth verse, there's a custom to open our doors when we're at Temple Sinai in the sanctuary. We have our greeter open the doors to the world. And I encourage you to get up and open the door to your homes and say, Shabbat, I'm ready for you. I'm ready to take this moment of pause. I'm ready to recharge from this past week. I'm ready to make a distinction, to really make a distinction between holy time, of entering into holy time. So this is a tune that I don't think at Temple Sinai we've used for Lecha Dodi before, but it's definitely one we sing a lot. So you all should know it. And it's one that I really enjoy. It's an upbeat tune. It's one that I really enjoy doing for Lecha Dodi. So I'll yain and I at the beginning, and then we'll go into the words. Yanai nai 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 yanai nai 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 yanai nai 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 yanai nai yanai nai yanai nai 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 yanai nai 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 yanai nai 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 yanai nai yanai nai yanai nai 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 yanai nai yanai nai yanai nai 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 yanai nai nai nai. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmianu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava titchila lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela hitoreri kiva orech kumi uri shir daberi kevod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala gam besimcha uv'tzohala toch emunei am segula boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela yainai nai 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 yainai nai 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 yainai nai 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 yainai nai yainai nai yainai nai 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 yainai nai yainai nai yainai nai 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 yainai nai 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 yainai nai nai yai nai 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 yai nai 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 yai nai nai nai. I invite you to take a deep breath at home. Breathe in the feeling of Shabbat. Ground your feet on the ground. Feel the support of the chair or the couch or wherever you are against your body. Take a moment just to breathe in Shabbat. And I'll invite you to just introduce yourself again on the chat. Say Shabbat Shalom. We have some new faces, and I especially want to invite some of the new faces to say Shabbat Shalom on the chat. It's a really nice way to feel like we're all together again. So I want again to invite you to utilize the chat function in the Zoom. And we'll turn now to the Matriv service, the evening service, and we'll I'm going to go back to sharing my screen, and we'll start again with you've heard this now a few times when I lead the Ahavat Olam prayer, the prayer about bringing love into this world. And I love, again, this is a prayer that is said every evening. And there's other prayers that are said in the morning time and in the afternoon time. But I think it's so important to think about the love that we bring into this world, the love we want to bring this world, and really filling this world with much needed love. So, Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochbeinu u'v'kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, Le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, יומם ולילה. בהדבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו Yisrael. Praise are you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. And we'll move now into the Shema, one of the holiest prayers in Judaism, where we really contemplate the interconnectedness of all of us, of each other, and of all that exists. And again, never have I really felt the sense of being connected to all, and interconnectedness, both again to people, but also to nature, to other living things as well. And we'll say together, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We'll turn to the Micha Mocha prayer. The prayer that was said sort of after the Israelites crossed the Red Sea. It's highlighting both a moment of praise and moment of courage. And this is a Debbie Friedman classic for those Debbie Friedman lovers out there. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef eleh. Nora tehilot osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze Eli anu ve'ameru, ze Eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We'll turn to the Vishamru prayer, one of my favorites for Shabbat, really mentioning sanctifying the Shabbat. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat. They should sanctify Shabbat as a covenant for all ages. It's really recognizing the need for a moment of rest, a moment of recharge, and thinking about sanctifying this day as that moment. So again, we can get through the busy weeks, the intense weeks. We need to allow ourselves this time. Vishamru השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. We'll move into our Amidah prayer, an opportunity for personal prayer or reflection. We'll start off together. And I invite you to think about what it is, what are the gifts, again, going back into seeking out sort of your inner strength and thinking about who you are at your core. What are the gifts you bring to the world? We evoke the names of our ancestors and the gifts we think about the gifts they brought into Judaism, into our lives. But what are the gifts that you bring into the world? And what are the things that you're asking God for? What are the blessings that you want to ask God for right now? Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imaot, U'Mevii Geulah Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham V'Ezrat Sarah. I invite you into an opportunity for silent prayer or reflection. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na. Yai na 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 na, yai na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, Yoseh Shalom Bimrama, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Imru, Amen. We'll turn now to our Misha Berach prayer. We ask God's blessing for those in our lives who are in need of healing, healing of the body, healing of the spirit, healing of the soul, healing of the mind. And we're in a world right now that is in desperate need of healing. We are surrounded by violence, and we especially think of those communities of color who are continuously being impacted and threatened by the police, by the state, and also who are being disproportionately affected by this pandemic and continuously so. Communities of color and poor communities in particular, but we also think of all those who are suffering from COVID-19 and who are in the hospitals. We think of our first responders and those doing the heroic work of putting their lives on the line to help and save other people. And we just ask God's blessing for healing for all those in our lives, for this world. And tonight we're in particular thinking about those members of people at Temple Sinai: Robin Barinholtz, Doris Barinholtz, Amy Perlman, Abby Haupt, June Zeiner, Jim Zeiner, Ronnie Meckler, Allison Santucci, Meredith Fine, Deborah Kaplan, Nicole Morris, Selma Grubert, Luann Luce, Ben Slavitt, Alan Brackup, Tyrone Cushing, Evelyn Opat, Cantor Sue Knight Deutsch, Michael Ben Bluma Vishmuel, Don David Ben Ezer Vachaya, Davida Emanuela Bat Yechezkel Ephraim, Velvel Ben Baruch Rachel, Shoshana Bat Moshe Ubella, Ephraim Ben Malka Rachel. And I want to invite you to add the names of others you're thinking of in the chat, or I'm going to give you the power to unmute yourself if you would like to, share their names aloud. You're welcome to unmute yourself and share their names, or feel free to share their names in the chat. We'll take just a moment if people do want to unmute themselves to share a name of those they're thinking about. We wish them a refuah shlema, a speedy and complete recovery and healing. And I'll share my screen again, and we're gonna do the Debbie Friedman Misha Berach. It should be on your screens now. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Again, we wish all those mentioned and all those in our hearts a refuah shlema. We'll now turn to a Devar Torah, but tonight's going to be more of a discussion style. One of the benefits of Zoom is that we can interact. So I really want to encourage you again to participate. And we're here. So again, I mentioned this week is Parshat Pinchas. The Torah portion is that of Pinchas. And we're not going to talk about Pinchas. We spoke about him, but we're going to talk about 5 women who I love. And this is a story that I really love, that comes towards the end of this Torah portion that comes in. We're in the book of Numbers. So the Israelites are wandering through the desert, and the book of Numbers is all about the Israelites' journey in the wilderness. And it speaks to leadership a lot. There's, every week, highlights sort of a different element of leadership, whether it's Moses or Aaron or Miriam, or that of the spies, or of Bilam, or whoever that you heard about last week. And we're also starting to shift from looking at the Israelites' past journeys into creating a map for the future, and really laying the groundwork for order and justice in the land that will become the Israelites' heritage. So my question for tonight is, what can we learn from the daughters of Tzolofachad? And I want to think about them as a model of social change. And so I think sometimes we have lots of different models for social change, and sometimes there's moments that call for a revolution, for us to totally scrap everything we've had and to say we need something now. And there's other times that call for slower, sort of piece by piece, minute by minute change, little by little. And I want to think about that. And again, I mentioned this Torah portion was all about leadership, which it is. And I have to say, in thinking about what I wanted to talk about tonight, I looked at several either commentaries or Devar Torahs from lots of people who wrote on this, lots of people I respect, including some women. And none of them actually spoke about the daughters of Tzolofachad as leaders. They spoke a lot about Moses as leaders, and Aaron and Eleazar the priest, and maybe even Pinchas, but none of them actually highlighted these 5 women as potential leaders. And so I do want to think about them as such. So I'm going to give you the context first. So what just happened is we had a census. All the men, a census was taken. Lots of censuses in the book of Numbers, and a census of men above the ages of 20 was just taken, and that was to see how they would apportion the land. So they're about to go into Israel, again, the land of Israel, and they needed to know who was going to get what piece of land. And all of a sudden, the 5 daughters of Tzolofachad, who Tzolofachad was someone who had no sons. He had no sons, and he died, but he had 5 daughters. And they decided they're actually some of the few named women in the Torah. And they went to Moses and Eleazar the Kohen, and to the chieftains, and to all the community, and they said, wait a second, my father didn't do anything wrong. My father died in the wilderness. He wasn't part of Korach's faction. He wasn't part of this group of people who their punishment was not to inherit the land. He just happened to die, and he had no sons. And now we're not allowed to, you just took a census of men, but what are you saying about my father? Why should my father's memory be diminished, or his family be diminished just because he did not have sons? We should be allowed to inherit the land. And Moses, unsure of how to rule, brings this case before God, and God responds with resounding support of the women. So I want to think through this a little bit piece by piece. So the first thing I want to focus on is really how the Torah, how this chapter opens. It says, and the daughters of Tzolofachad drew near, and then drew near. They came to Moses, and they came to Eleazar, and they came to the chieftains, and they came before all the people, all the community of Israel. And these are the daughters' names: Malcha, Noah, Chogla, Milcah, and Tirzah. Not the most common names nowadays, but some good biblical names. And so the rabbis ask a question. They ask, why were they referred to first as the daughters of Zelophehad, and then afterwards they were referred to by their own names, and we'll see them being referred to as their names later on too. That's continuous. And so they say, because of the tzel means shadow, and pachad, so they're using this play on the word Zelophehad, tzel and pachad, the shadow and fear that was in them at first. For at the beginning of this, they dwelled in their father's shadow, and they didn't necessarily want to come before and raise their concern. But actually, once they drew near, once they were brought closer, they were empowered, and they were actually known by their own names. So that's one piece of this that I want to highlight, again, in thinking about the daughters of Zelophehad as leaders, but also thinking about leaders in social change movements, is this potential humility and maybe even some healthy fear at the beginning, but then the ability to become empowered and really speak up for what you believe in. So that's one piece. And then similarly, it also said, so it says they became, I love this one because this is just so applicable to real life. It says they gathered in front of Moses, Eleazar, the chieftains, and all the community. Why does it say all of them? So a commentator, one of the rabbis named Abarbanel, says they were actually getting the runaround. Each leader, Moses was sending them to Eleazar, and Eleazar was sending them to the chieftains, and the chieftains were sending them back to Moses. So what did they do? That sounds familiar, right? This is a common issue that many of us continue to have today. So what did they do? They decided, wait a second, we're gonna beat them at their own game. We're gonna wait until they're all together, and none of them can get away from the other, and we're gonna speak before them in front of everyone, so they all have to listen. And so that was again, thinking about their strategy. That was their first piece. And again, this requires a sense of strength, a sense that they are right in asking for this. And what else did they do? And this is gonna, I think, be the heart of where I want to focus our discussion. So then we're thinking about what specifically did they ask for, and what specifically, how did they approach it? So they asked, the way they ask for things is by speaking about their father and diminishing their father's memory, their father's family's inheritance. And so essentially they're using the patriarchal system and the patriarchal ways to actually get what they want. So they're not necessarily, this isn't like radical change. This is saying, okay, I'm going to use the system to potentially try to change it a little bit. And they preempt challenges that Moses might bring up, or others might bring up, saying, well, by saying, they weren't part of Korah's group. He didn't, my father was entitled to inherit land. And they again used their father as the opportunity. And so the rabbis say, what were they? They were smart, and they were interpretive. They were smart in that they knew the right moment to ask. And again, they used they used sort of the system to try to get what they want. So they accepted the patriarchy. The rabbis say, the rabbis who are also men, just to note, in this case, are also men, just to note, these rabbis that are commenting on it. There's many more, and we're going to get to a feminist commentary in a bit. But these rabbis are saying, oh, it's a good thing. Had they just asked, they wouldn't have ever asked just for a daughter to inherit the land, but they asked, they said, no, he had no sons. It's all about my father and not necessarily about us. And then the other thing that I just thought in the same, this is in the Talmud, in the same line, it said that the daughters were righteous. And why were they righteous? They were all unmarried. So at this time where they went before I'll get to, I see Charlie's face. What does that have to do with anything? So the reason we know that is because if they were married, their husband's land would be their land. So the reason they're asking for land is because they were all unmarried. And why are they righteous? Because they had not yet found men that were worthy of them. So I thought that was kind of an interesting note. They did not settle, so they were both smart and righteous. And they go to God, and they go to Moses and God, and what do they say? They bring this case and say to Moses, "Wait a second, we know we're right. We're speaking the truth." Other of the commentators said that the daughters of Zelophehad are speaking truth, and we know that God is not like humans. There's a midrash, there's a legend that says God is not like humans. Humans might value men more than women, but God does not value men more than women, and we know that. And so they're challenging both God and Moses to say, do the right thing here, and hold them accountable. And I was thinking about this earlier today. I had a meeting with Bonnie Gilbert and Scott Osterweil about GBIO, the Greater Boston Interfaith Organization, planning meetings with our legislators, and what they're doing is these in-district meetings to say, for legislators to make commitments to support specific legislation in front of their constituents. So I thought about this when reading this. Essentially, the daughters of Zelophehad are doing the same thing. They're trying in front of the entire community, where Moses is a leader and God is the leader of this entire community. The daughters of Zelophehad are trying to get them to say, yes, you are right. Women can inherit the land. So I love this moment again, and it speaks to social change now. And again, the final piece is that they are speaking. God acknowledges and Moses acknowledges that they are speaking the truth. They are speaking justly and rightly. It is the right thing to do. And so my question that we'll just discuss just for a couple minutes, if anyone has any thoughts on it, and then we'll conclude, is what do we gain and what do we lose from taking this approach of not necessarily asking for radical change, scrapping the entire system, but asking for incremental, using the system, which might be flawed in itself, to ask for, to potentially get what you want and change a really important law. Because the fact is, the daughters of Zelophehad did change a law and allow women to inherit the land when there was no son to inherit, when there was no man in the family, essentially, to inherit the land. So I'm curious if anyone briefly has thoughts on this. And you should be able to unmute yourself. But you can also put your hand up if you have something to say. Yeah, Amos. Oh, I can ask you to unmute, but I can't unmute you, it looks like.
Okay, now we got
There
it.
we go.
So I think that what we really see here that is so important is the beauty of the men who wrote the Torah. Because up until this point, women have not received very good press in the Torah. We have Sarah who cried herself to death. We have the conniving Rebecca. We have the story of Rebecca and Leah trading for marriage. So women up until this point do not come across in a very favorable light. But now the time has come that perhaps we need to show women favorably. But I think it's also important to note that the Zelophehad's daughters were not leaders. They had leadership thrust upon them. They knew that if they did not act, they would not get the land. So they were put into a position that they had to act. So that was the leadership that they showed had been pushed on them. If the land had not been in question, I wonder, would they have come forward with something else?
I don't know. So it's a good question, but they spoke. There was a moment that they were called to and they spoke. And I do just want to defend women in the Torah just briefly. We do have a lot that are harder, but the women actually who were asked to give their jewelry for the golden calf, to build the golden calf, and they withheld it. So one of the greatest sins of the Israelites was building this golden calf, and the women were not actually implicated in that sin. So which is just interesting. It's again just an interesting moment. Any other thoughts? Again, we have time for maybe one or two. Yeah, Jeremy.
So it's progress, but not equality, right? The women get to inherit if and only if there are no guys around. And maybe it's a testimony to incremental change.
Great. So I love that. Thanks, Jeremy. And it's a perfect segue into my final point, which is it's progress. It's not necessarily equality or even equity, but it is some kind of progress. And there's a woman who writes a book of, there's a book of compiled midrashim, a compiled set of modern legends and stories based on the Torah called Dirshuni that are all written by women, and it's all actually done in Hebrew. And there's a beautiful, beautiful midrash that I think highlights the complexity of social change and the challenge of, again, wanting progress, but yearning towards equality, and the importance of actually centering the voices of those most affected by an injustice. So whether that's racism or anti-Semitism or homophobia or any other form of oppression, really focusing on those who are affected. And later on in the book of Numbers, we see in chapter 36 that the text refers again to the daughters of Zelophehad, and it says that the Lord, that God commanded concerning of the daughters of Zelophehad that they could marry. Again, this all has to do with the inheritance of the land, but that they could marry whoever they wanted, as long as the person, whoever was good in their eyes, essentially it says, as long as the person was in their father's tribe. So the land did not leave the tribe, again, because they could inherit the land stayed within the tribe. So it again narrowed them. They could choose amongst a certain pool of people. And this midrash, again, is in Hebrew. I'm happy to send it to any of those who know Hebrew and want to look at it, as the language is really beautiful. But the focus is that it says in their eyes, and it uses the masculine plural version of the word their eyes, be'enehem, opposed to the feminine plural version, be'enehen. And so what does this midrash talk about? It says that even though these women were smart and they were righteous and they were good, their eyes were actually not the focus, because it's in the end, it's the eyes, it's the perspectives, it's the views of the men that actually rule, and the men that wrote the Torah in this case. And so their eyes actually, they were not the primary focus. But it says the daughters of Zelophehad, they're to be remembered well. It says Latov, for good. And the point is that they should be remembered well. They wanted to good, they did good. And they should be remembered well in the eyes of the nation. But, they should be remembered well. And so again, I think this highlights, while there was progress to really get to the place that we want to get to equality, we want to be in a place where we center the voices, we center the perspectives of those being affected by the injustice. And with that, we'll move to our concluding prayers, the Aleinu prayer, which again speaks to the hope for living in the world that we want to. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekedu l'yotzer breshit, shehu samchakenu liyached et shemo, v'gor aleinu lamlich malchuto, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Al ken hakavalecha Adonai Eloheinu l'rot mehira b'tiferet uzecha letaken olam b'malchut Shaddai v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad. We'll now turn to the mourner's Kaddish. And we remember all those in our community whose yahrzeit we're observing this week, and all those who have passed away recently. I'll read the names, and then again, after I'm done reading the names, I'll invite you to share names in the chat if you would like, or again, feel free to unmute yourselves and share the names of those that you're remembering tonight. In the Temple Sinai community tonight, we're observing the yahrzeits of Benjamin Burness, David Kemp, Daniel Clarnett, Sydney Lehrer, Michael Lillian, Enid Lofchi, Max Moskowitz, Jack Perlman, Richard Ripstein, Richard Robin, Nicholas Russo, and Ruth Soffer. And in the past 30 days, we're remembering these individuals who have passed away recently. Rabbi Benjamin Rudofsky, former Temple Sinai rabbi, Buena Alkali Perlman, aunt of Lior Alkali and Lior, we send you our condolences to you and your family. And Phil Katz, the father of Sinai member John Katz, and John and Jen and your family, we send you our condolences as well. Again, please add the names of those you're thinking about tonight in your chat, either in the chat box, or feel free to unmute yourself and say their name aloud. And we'll join together for Kaddish. It gets a little messy, but I'll invite you at the parts to say Amen. If you would like to unmute yourself, you can. But I just ask that you remute yourself again. Yitkadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, v'almad yivrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam umei omaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal. Shmei dekudesha brichu. Le'elam in kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Da'amiram be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shamaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Amen. We'll turn now to announcements. I have some announcements. Charlie, our Temple President Charlie Homer, I don't know if you have announcements you want to give. Nope, great. I've got the announcements. So we have a few upcoming things at Temple Sinai. First of all, right after this, Jeremy Wolf is hosting a Zoom Oneg. Jeremy, I don't know if you want to add the link. Yep, he already did it. The Oneg link is in the chat for anyone who wants to join that. On Wednesday, July 15th and July 22nd, join Jeremy Wolf and Robin Orwan for a class on the Jubilees, the Jewish bestseller you've never read. So that class continues. Everyone is welcome. Again, it's been a series. So if you may have gone to a few previous ones, you're welcome to come. On Saturday, July 18th, Alex Borns-Weil is leading a mindfulness practice group. We encourage you to go Saturday, July 18th, 9:30 a.m. over Zoom. And then looking ahead at the end of the month, as I mentioned before, is the holiday of Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av. So on July 29th at 8 p.m., we have a cohort of Brookline synagogues that get together for Tisha B'Av. So this year it's being hosted by Temple Ohabei Shalom and will be over Zoom. And that's our Erev Tisha B'Av services. So Wednesday, July 29th at 8 p.m. And then I mentioned this earlier, but I just want to give a special plug for Greater Boston Interfaith Organization, GBIO, in-district meetings to meet with our legislators and ask for racial justice reform, specifically around police accountability and healthcare. And there are several meetings that are actually upcoming on July 21st. For those of you living in Brookline, Brighton, Alston, Newton, Watertown, Somerville, Cambridge, all of those meetings, they're different meetings, are going to be held on July 21st. And there's several other meetings happening. You should have received an email about it today, but feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And I encourage you to sign up for those. And again, hold our legislators accountable. And again, we're in summer Shabbat services, so that July 21st, yes. So we are doing, each Friday is at 6 p.m. over Zoom. I believe Rabbi Vogel is leading next week. And it's a mix of Rabbi Vogel, of me, and of Temple Sinai community members leading on Zoom or live streamed each week. So we'll conclude with Kiddush, the blessing over the wine. If you have wine or grape juice at your home, I invite you to get it. And we'll say together, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzanu, v'shabbat kodsho ba'uvratzon, hinchi lanu, zikaron v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher tzat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otam kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'yava chaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Excuse me. I got a little tickle in my throat. And we'll say, we'll finish with Hamotzi. Don't worry, I just got a little tickle in my throat. Jeremy, do you want to lead us in Hamotzi?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Come to the oneg and bring your own munchies.
Thank you, Jeremy. Shabbat shalom. Nice to see everyone. I will play us out with Oseh Shalom again.
Oseh Shalom.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Wrong one. Oh, I can't find it now. But Shabbat Shalom. Nice to see everyone. And go to the Oneg.